Will the 112th Cadet class please come forward? Would everyone please stand or remain standing until after the invocation? Officer Andrew Garcia will be singing our national anthem, and the Albuquerque Police Department Honor Guard will be presenting the colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, APD Honor Guard and Officer Garcia. At this time, if I could ask that everybody please remove your covers. Chaplain Jim Bodette will now give the invocation.
Let us pray. Psalm 23, prayer to the Good Shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd. There is nothing I shall want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me to tranquil waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in paths of righteousness so that his name may be glorified. Even though I wander through the valley of the shadows, the valley of death, I will fear no evil, for you are at my side, Lord, with your rod and your staff that comfort me. You spread a table for me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Only goodness and kindness will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. Please be seated. Good afternoon. I'm Michael Archibek, the Acting Commander and the Director of Training for the Albuquerque Police Academy. On behalf of the Albuquerque Police Department, I'd like to welcome everyone to the graduation ceremony of the 112th Cadet class. Today is a very proud and exciting day for these dedicated individuals who have earned the right and the privilege of graduating from what is without question the finest police academy. On October 20th, 2014, 29 men and women started the 112th. Out of 1,024 applicants, And after 27 weeks of hard work and dedication, these 20 cadets stand before you today. At this time, I'd like to introduce our distinguished guest, Chief of Police for the Rio Rancho Police Department, Michael Geyer. Chief of Police for the Albuquerque Police Department, Gordon E. Eden. Assistant Chief for the Albuquerque Police Department, Field Service Bureau, Robert Huntsman. Deputy Chief, Special Services Bureau, William Roseman. Deputy Chief, Investigative Bureau, Eric Garcia. Field Service Bureau Major, Tim Gunnerman. APD Academy Lieutenant, J.J. Griego. From the 2nd Judicial District Court, Division 27, the Honorable Judge Victor Lopez. From the Office of Senator Tom Udall, Reyes de la Cruz. Bernalillo County Commissioner, Wayne Johnson. Deputy Director of the New Mexico Law Enforcement Academy, Brian Koss. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I proudly introduce to you the basic training staff of the Albuquerque and Rio Rancho Police Department. Sergeant of Basic Training, David Jaramillo. Squad 1 Supervisor and Administrative Officer for the 112th, Officer Joe Manarino. Squad 2 Supervisor, Officer Jason Gallegos. Squad 3 Supervisor, Ray DeFreitas. Squad 4 Supervisor, Officer Pete Rogan. The APD Academy had 2 officers that served as mentors for this cadet class. These mentors are seasoned officers that were in place to motivate, counsel, and be a lifeline to these cadets. If the mentors can please stand as I call your name. Officer Donna Richter. Officer Rich Ryan. We couldn't have asked for 2 better mentors. It was a pleasure working with the 2 of you. Continuing with the introductions. Albuquerque Police Department Wellness Coordinator, Mr. J.D. Mays. Lead Firearms Instructor for the 112, Officer Ray DeFreitas. Recruiting and Selection, Sergeant Jacob Poisington. I'd like to thank and recognize the Recruiting and Backgrounds Unit for their hard work and diligence with this class. They include Detectives Russell Alberti, Eric Martinez, Ken Murphy, and CSA May Chavez. Thank you for your hard work. The Academy Administrative Assistants, Ms. Raquel Hernandez, Ms. Michelle Acosta, Loneta Gallegos, Andrea Lopez, and Anna Sorensen. The Advanced Training Unit and Range Supervisor, Sergeant David Saladin. Other special guests in attendance, Bernalillo County Sheriff Manny Gonzalez. Under Sheriff Rudy Mora. Under Sheriff Larry Allen. Chief Deputy for BCSO Jessica Tyler. Mr. Nate Korn, Citizen Representative of New Mexico Law Enforcement Academy. And thank you to all the officers and the command staff of the Albuquerque and Rio Rancho Police Departments. Thank you for being here. Please forgive me if I've forgotten anyone. At this time, please welcome Chief of the Rio Rancho Police Department, Michael Geyer.
Good afternoon. I want to congratulate all the members of the 112th class for achieving this, the first of hopefully many milestones in your law enforcement career. You have a lot to be proud of and are about to join our noble profession. I also welcome all your family and friends who are with us today to celebrate this occasion. I'm sure that many of your graduates would not have made it through these past 26 weeks without their support and love. I want to remind each of the graduates that all these people in your lives are extremely proud of you. You are their heroes, so please remember that every day when you are out there doing your jobs. Strive to always honor them and our profession, and do nothing to tarnish the badges. Do nothing to tarnish the badges that you will soon be wearing. For you represent hope for all our communities, 365 days a year, 24/7, rain or shine. The police will always be there, for we never close our doors to serve the public. You are in a helping profession and are the most visible part of today's government. As police officers, you are the frontline protectors of democracy itself. You will promote freedom and justice every day, and you will be asked to preserve the integrity of the Constitution and the laws that you will soon be sworn to protect. A police officer's foundation is his or her character, which is beneath the surface, but it provides the armor that protects the soul, ensures justice, and preserves our very nation. I mentioned earlier that you are entering a noble profession. Policing today demands nobility. The good character of men and women like yourselves who take the oath of office are the roots of which great policing is built. These are definitely challenging times for law enforcement, and the character of every one of you has the ability to either damage and destroy or nourish and strengthen this vital foundation. Demonstrating good character, especially in times of these great challenges, reflects the honor and nobility of our profession. Recognize that nobility is defined as greatness of character, along with high ethical qualities or ideals that serve a cause greater than oneself, that being faithfulness to a higher calling or purpose. President Calvin Coolidge once said many, many years ago, "No one is compelled to choose the profession of a law enforcement officer, but having chosen it, everybody is obligated to perform its duties and live up to that high standards of its requirements." I'd be willing to bet that when asked during your application and selection process, each one of you said something along the lines that you wanted to help people or make a difference. Sound familiar? You may have asked yourself some questions back then, such as, what do I want to do with my life? I now pose this question to each of you. Ask yourself, what can I now do with my life? To whom much is given, much will be required. From the moment that badge is pinned on you today and entrusted to you, you commit to serving the greater good in a spirit of public service, social justice, and fundamental fairness. You will perform countless acts throughout your careers, some of which will have profound impact. Others will simply be acts of compassion and kindness. The focus of these actions, great or small, must remain centered on serving that noble cause. The deeper purpose and meaning for why policing exists should be your strength to steer away from the ever-present forces of doubt that we all face. Let this be the fuel to ignite a passion to indeed make that difference within yourselves, to the countless lives you will touch, and to the communities you will soon protect on the front lines of democracy. Let me close with these words of advice of career survival for your career survival and success. Always be faithful to our work. Honor the core principles of policing and stay true to the promises that you will make during your upcoming oath of office. Choose your actions based on your values and principles, and you will exercise control over the events and direction of your own lives. When everybody else and everything around you is in turmoil, the constants are your principles and your character. Honor them, and they will guide you to the right place. Remember that what you do every moment of every day touches lives. This is the profession which you will now dedicate your lives, and the reason why you and your families will be willing to make the sacrifices that go along with our job. Seek balance and renew yourself on a regular basis in these 4 areas of life. Body, maintain your physical well-being. Mind, seek a constant quest for knowledge. Heart, remain with the capacity to nurture all those relationships in your life. And finally, spirit, your sense of self, morality, and personal reflection. I encourage you to consider all these areas of your life in order to take care of policing's most valuable asset, you. Show constant respect to others, be kind, and strive toward a desire and commitment to service above self. Remember, too, that you have made an individual commitment to your organization's mission and success. Never lose your passion to make a difference. All of us are born for a reason, but many never discover what this is. Success has nothing to do with what you gain in life or accomplish for yourself. It is measured by what you do for others. Winston Churchill once said, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." As you leave today, wear your shiny new badges as a symbol of trust, which is a privilege, not a right, reserved only for those who serve with honor and integrity. Those who serve unfaithfully have no place in our profession. Through the constant changes you experience in careers, remember your true calling and your purpose. The people in our communities you serve will always depend on you. Your presence gives comfort to those you protect because you will always be there. Without you, the consequences would be unthinkable. I wish you all the best in your careers, and may God bless and watch over all of you. Thank you.
Also, to address the 112th Cadet class and its guests, it's my privilege to introduce the Chief of the Albuquerque Police Department, Gordon E. Eden, Jr.
Don't go too far, Lieutenant. For those of you that don't know, this is Lieutenant Art Chebeck's last graduating class. He will be retiring and leaving us. And on behalf of not only this class, but the class that have gone before them, we want to thank you for your leadership at the Academy. You've done an outstanding job. You're a great leader, and we will really miss you, Lieutenant. Thank you for your service. If the training staff would stand up. Thank you. I'm not going to yell at you. Cadets, I want you to look to your left. These men and women have poured out their heart and their soul to make you a good police officer. These men and women are dedicated professionals. They've walked the streets before you. They've shared many calls that you may never go to. But they've given to you all that they can. They are men and women of honor and integrity. They wear their badge in such a way that everybody knows that behind that badge is a heart of service. And I too want to thank the training, each and every one of you from the training unit. Thank you so much for what you do every day for these young men and women. Thank you. So, how are you guys doing? Doing okay? Now I want you to do me a favor. I want you to stand up, turn around, and face the people that are here. Please stand up. And whichever way you can figure out how to do it, turn and face your families. See, they never know what I'm going to do. The people who were leading that applause were the men and women, the mothers, the fathers, the grandmothers, the grandfathers, the spouses that have trusted you to wear this badge. They've made you who you are. They've made you the man or woman that you are. They've, for years, have helped shape your heart, a heart that you are now dedicated to public service, a heart that will see dark things, a heart will see people who die in your hands. But when you see those things happen, I want you to remember this day and look at the crowd of people that are here today, that are here to support you. Your moms, your dads, your spouses, some of you even your children, your grandmothers and your grandfathers, your aunts and your uncles. You serve them with pride, honor, honesty, integrity. They are depending upon you to serve our community. They are depending upon you to keep our community safe. Don't let them down. Don't let them down. Remember who shaped your heart. Remember who helped shape your life. Because now your responsibility is to help shape the hearts of our community. That's a big task. But when that mom hears about their child that's in danger, they're going to depend upon your heart to create a calming situation. When you see somebody that's been abused, they're going to look for you. They're going to look in your eyes for comfort and hope that the criminal justice system will not fail them. It's an awesome duty, even greater responsibility. But this is the community, just part of the community. Never forget them. Never forget what they have taught you. And continue to grow your heart for our community. You can turn around whichever way you think you can. And now what I say to you, you have the full support of the people that have gone before you. We're going to trust you. You are the new generation. You are the new generation of police officers. Going into a new generation of policing. Remember who you are. Remember what people expect you to do. And I guarantee you, you will grow in your career. You will impact families' lives forever. Just remember, always do the right thing. God bless you. You may have a seat.
Thank you, Chief. While many of the cadets excel throughout the academy, it is a tradition that 3 very deserving awards be given. These awards recognize 3 cadets that showed outstanding achievement and excellence. The award categories are Top Gun, Most Physically Fit, and Top Cadet. The presentation for Top Gun will be made by Lead Firearms Instructor Officer Ray DeFreitas.
Thank you, Lieutenant. First, to the entire class, you have my congratulations. You should be extremely proud of your performance in all phases of your training. You are now entering one of the most difficult and stressful professions in the world. I would like to provide the rest of you with an explanation of what is entailed in earning the Top Gun Award. The class spent over 150 hours on the range, firing a total of about 5,000 rounds each in the heat, the rain, the snow, and the blasting dust storms. There are many parts of police training that are extremely stressful. In order to complete the training, each cadet must pass 2 out of 3 attempts at the New Mexico Department of Public Safety day and night qualifications, or face termination for failure to meet minimum standards. That's just a little stress. The 112th Cadet class shot 22 handgun and 4 shotgun qualifications under very difficult conditions. After they had passed the mandatory qualifications, I made training days more difficult by running drills and scored qualifications that were meant to challenge even the best marksmen. The Albuquerque Police Department has firearm standards much higher than those mandated by the State Law Enforcement Academy, for good reason. We demand a great deal of officers on the street, and therefore we demand a great deal of the cadets during training. I've always made it clear to the cadets that we are training them to be victorious in a deadly force situation and that they are legally and morally accountable for every round they fire. Thus, accuracy under stress is paramount. The Top Gun Award is computed by averaging all scored day and night calls, with 10% of the overall average coming from their firearms quizzes. Based on these criteria, the class overall average was 91.8. Congratulations, 112th class. Cadet Henry has shown an above-average aptitude for firearms since day one. He shot 10 perfect 100% scores out of the 22 scored handgun quals. He shot perfect 100% scores on all 4 of his shotgun quals, and Cadet Henry fired perfect 100% scores on 3 out of 3 night qualifications on January 16th and again on February 17th. As I said, the class average was 91.8. The second place shooter had an average of 96.1. Cadet Henry completed the academy with an overall average of 98.5, almost 7 points higher than the class average, and the difference between Top Gun and second place was 2.4 points. This is the greatest margin that I have seen since taking over the firearms program, and no Top Gun has had a higher overall average since I took over the program. Congratulations, Cadet Henry. You are definitely Top Gun. Please come forward and accept your award.
Presenter for the most physically fit cadet will be J.D. Mays.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Good afternoon. Over the last 6 months, I've had the great privilege of overseeing the physical fitness program for the 112th Cadet class. As you can imagine, over 27 weeks, this class has seen a great deal of growth in many areas, including mentally, emotionally, and physically. The goals of the APD physical training program are to prevent injuries, to enhance job performance, to provide wellness education, and to foster mental toughness. And the 112th Cadet class not only accomplished all these goals, but far exceeded them with a ferocious work ethic. This department takes great pride in producing some of the most well-trained and physically fit police officers in the world, and the 112th Cadet class was no exception. In order to graduate today, the New Mexico Department of Public Safety required that each cadet pass a set of exit physical standards consisting of maximal efforts in a 1-minute push-up test, a 1-minute sit-up test, a 300-meter sprint, a 1.5-mile run, and 2 agility obstacle courses. As a group, this class not only met these standards, but far exceeded them. In fact, when the testing results are analyzed by age and gender and compared to scientific norms set forth by the Cooper Institute for Aerobic Research, the results show that they are more fit than 85% of the population of athletes who has been officially tested by the same testing measurements. It is safe to say that the 112th Cadet class is fit for duty. Let's give them a round of applause for all the hard work they put in. As a group and individually, they are entering the police force in peak physical condition, and I challenge you each as a class to continue the journey of fitness that you have put in this academy. In the near future, part of your job responsibility will be to return home safely to your families and friends after every shift, and keeping yourself in good physical condition over the next 25 years and beyond will help to ensure that that happens. At this time, I'd like to turn our attention to our most physically fit cadet. Well, in the academy, this cadet not only excelled, he exhibited a work ethic in the PT program that was first class, as he constantly pushed himself and motivated his classmates. On day one of the academy, he showed up in excellent shape and continued to improve his fitness scores, achieving the highest in the class during each of the 5 physical fitness assessments administered throughout the academy. His exit PT scores for dynamic strength, flexibility, it's obviously very important to stretch your hamstrings, as this class knows, inside joke, and cardiorespiratory endurance were not only among the highest in the class, but also higher than 98% of all males his age who have been personally tested by the Cooper Institute. Please join me in congratulating Cadet Malkovich.
The highest honor bestowed upon a cadet is that of being named Top Cadet. Presenting the award will be Basic Training Sergeant David Jaramillo.
Good afternoon. My name is Sergeant David Jaramillo, and I am responsible for supervising basic training. Today, I have the privilege to introduce you to your top cadet. But first, I would like to take this opportunity to extend the gratitude to the entire basic training staff. Their pride, tireless dedication, and commitment to their craft materializes into the professional men and women who today will be sworn in to defend our community. Somebody once told me that the training day ends when it ends, and I can't ask for a better staff than what I have. And I truly mean that their tireless effort and their dedication is what is you see what's produced out here, right here in front of you today. As a basic training sergeant, I have the responsibility to select each class's formal leaders, an honor that has no relation to top cadet. These class leaders are entrusted to navigate the group through sometimes difficult waters while maintaining a model of excellence for themselves. Very early in the 112's training, 2 cadets stood out to me and appeared to be ready to take up a leadership role. One of those cadets was Andrew Henry. His integrity, professional demeanor, and lead from the front style made my decision very easy. Top Cadet is the highest honor bestowed upon a cadet. Today, Andrew Henry will join a very exclusive group of officers who can display this prestigious award on their uniform. If I had to use one word to describe Cadet Henry, it would be courageous. I would like to read a short quote by Billy Graham. Courage is contagious. When a brave man takes a stand, the spines of others are often stiffened. Cadet Henry exemplifies the essence of academics, firearms, physical fitness, and uniform inspections, and he finished with the highest overall average in all of these categories. Andrew Henry's attainment of top cadet validated everything that I knew he could achieve. Cadet Henry has been a rock-solid pillar of strength for his fellow cadets, and I am positive he will help lead the Albuquerque Police Department into its future. Cadet Henry, please come forward.
As top cadet, Cadet Henry has the honor of addressing the audience.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for attending. Special thanks to Chief Eden and command staff, and a special thanks to Chief Geyer and all others in attendance. The Academy experience begins with one word: stress. Stress has an amazing effect. Class 112 learned this simple fact quickly. On our first day of training, we realized under stress, we could not collectively count to the astounding sum of 20. nor remember all of our gear. One of us ran an entire PT test in a pair of dress shoes. Moving forward, we continued to forget items necessary to function at the academy. Ties, duty belts, and boots were only the beginning. After arriving 30 minutes late to our high-intensity stress night, I realized I failed to bring my BDUs. Running the events of the night in my pretty blue PSA shirt, I realized my brothers were there for me. It was this day in training our class mentality shifted. Given the events that took place that night, which all officers here are well aware of, not a single cadet in Class 112 showed a hint of giving up. Our resolve and resiliency as a class was unbreakable. We were no longer out of our minds. We were focused and ready to push forward. Every class takes its own path. We had found ours. The resolve, resiliency, and strength gained from our experience will stay with us forever. Throughout the last 7 months, our families have made many sacrifices. I would like to send a special thank you to all the families and friends that supported us in this transition from civilian to police officer. I would like to send a sincere thank you to my wife, Leslie, and my children, Devin, Juliana, and Camden. Without your love, support, and motivation, I wouldn't be up here today. I love you very much. During our time at the academy, we began to learn what we were becoming a part of, the law enforcement family. While in training, we lost 3 members of our family. Officer Anthony Haas, Detective Brian Snow, and Officer John Kelly. General Patton said it best, "It is foolish and wrong to mourn the men who died. Rather, we should thank God that such men lived." They all left behind a legacy and a tradition that we vow to carry forward. I would like to take a moment of silence for those officers. In closing, I would like to thank the Academy staff for what they do every day, creating competent, confident, and ready police officers to defend, provide service to, and support the Albuquerque community. Finally, Class 112. Thank you for all your help, camaraderie, and motivation. Remember, keep pushing. Keep pushing. Hydrate. Stretch your hamstrings. It's all connected. And we are never out of the fight. Hoorah, 112! Hoorah, 112!
Congratulations, Cadet Henry. The cadets receiving these awards were recognized individually from Calibers, Kaufman's, and Caswell Investigations. I'd like to thank these companies for their continual support to law enforcement and also to the APD Academy. A video has been prepared to highlight some of the accomplishments of the 112th Cadet class. At this time, if Thank you to Officer Mark Ottogon for the preparation of both the pre-ceremony and the highlight video. And now that the moment that the cadets have been waiting for. Chief Eden, Chief Geyer, would you please assist me with the presentation of diplomas and the pinning of the badges? Tavish Barnhill. Mason Blindstrobe. Travis Coburn. Cody Elliott. Cody's uncle, DEA agent Jeff McKinley, will be pinning his badge today. Robert Ellison. Ezra Esquivel. Brett Garcia. Brett's mother, retired APD Detective Denise Hensley, will be pinning his badge today. Reed Goss. Reed's father, Department of Defense Police Sergeant Mark Goss, will be pinning his badge today. Anthony Godetta. His father, APD retired Sergeant Pat Godetta, will be pinning his badge. Julio Guzman. Andrew Henry. Anthony Malkovich. Vincent Martinez. Brittany McDowell. Brittany's husband, Rio Rancho Police Department Officer Jared McDowell, will be pinning her badge. Ralph Rodriguez. Frederick Ruiz. Bill Sanchez. LaMarcus Stallings. Josh Trujillo. Aaron Vargas. His father, El Paso officer Salvador Vargas, will be pinning his badge. The Honorable Judge Lopez will now administer the oath of office.
Before I do that, if it's okay, just take a seat for a moment. We'll get to the oath in just a moment. I just was invited to say a couple of words, and I'd like to take that opportunity, if I could. I wanted to first congratulate you all, not only young cadets, but everyone else as well, for being here and being a part of this. You are the future of the police department, both the Albuquerque and the Rio Rancho, and you will be the faces in the street protecting our people and enforcing our laws. We live in uncertain times, and you have a big task ahead of you if you're going to turn around the public sentiment about your role in society. I will be administering the oath this afternoon, but I wanted to first say a few words about what it really means, what the oath means. Let's talk about that and what you're agreeing to do. Part of the oath provides that you will agree to support the United States and the New Mexico Constitution. These constitutions set broad outlines on how our governmental structure works. The U.S. government, the U.S. Constitution, of course, sets the overall framework, and it contains an important Bill of Rights that I'm sure you have studied extensively, especially the Fourth Amendment and other key provisions, key amendments involving searches and seizures and other protections. And as you learned, many of these federal protections are mirrored in the New Mexico Constitution. But when you take your oath, you are agreeing to respect these constitutional protections and personal liberties. Every day, you will stand at the doorstep of protecting or possibly violating these rights, because the simple act of stopping someone on the street or in a vehicle, if you're not careful, can cause you to cross that threshold of constitutional protection. So the oath you take today carries a heavy burden because you are charged with knowing state and federal constitutional law. Most attorneys don't even understand the complete fabric of these laws. A number of years ago, my daughter participated in a program through her high school, Highland High School, called We the People. And for an entire year, these teenagers immersed themselves in the Bill of Rights. At the end of the year, they understood constitutional law inside and out. They won the state championship and went to Washington, D.C. to display their understanding of constitutional law. They came in fourth place in the nation. But I will tell you that you, in taking your oath today, you're going to be required to understand that Constitution better than they did. Every day you will be at that threshold of either protecting or violating those laws. So I say this to remind you of the awesome responsibility that you will be undertaking today. That responsibility will require you to continue to learn about the law, the Constitution, what the requirements are, what new case law is. In the next part of the oath, because there's at least 2 or 3 parts of the oath, you're